the success or the influence, like it just kind of accentuates and exacerbates the inherent person that you are, right? Like I think if you were a great guy and you become rich and successful and famous or whatever, like it gives you the opportunity to be more of who you already are. It gives you a chance to be more giving or more passionate or more I don't know, more narcissistic. If that was your, if that's already like, if you have a proclivity to be that way anyways, it just kind of inflates that. It makes like the super version of who you already are, but it does take a lot of work too. Me and my team are really close. Everybody's like, oh, we're a family out here or what, it's like I hear that all the time, and I truly believe it. And I hope that everyone else that says that believes that too, but that's really the way that we try to operate. It's kind of like, it's one for all kind of mentality on the road with us. And I think it's not hard, in my opinion, to be kind to people. And maybe that's just because that's the way that I am, and that's down to the doorman at the hotel or my manager, you know what I mean? Or, it's like, in my opinion, it's not a difficult thing to do, to just choose to be kind and be grateful for this. Even if I'm having a tough day, you know what I mean? I'm still go out of my way to be kind to people, because I think, it's an important thing to do. It's every interaction that I have with someone, from a random fan I meet at the grocery store to my kids, like every impression makes an impression, whether it's a small one or a huge one, and so I always just try to be really mindful of that in my interactions with anyone.
Did you ever believe this would be your life?
Never.
What did you think life was going to look like?
I was if you would have asked me 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I would have been really afraid of the answer, because I had no idea. I feel like I was kind of aimlessly floating. I felt like I was kind of checking boxes that were like, I felt like I was supposed to be checking, which was like I graduated high school and it was like, okay, well, what now? And it was like, well, you go to college. That's just what happens. It's what you're supposed to do, And so I went and did that, and I had a great time in school. I didn't like school. I liked being at the school, but I didn't like being in school, if that makes sense, So I was doing a lot of that, and I would spend a lot of time, like I was majoring in business at the very beginning, and then I switched to criminal justice, and I enjoyed criminal justice a lot more than I enjoyed business. I just liked that. I liked studying that. It was interesting to me. But it was still like, it just never felt quite right. It was like, it just doesn't feel like, and I would get scared as every year would tick by in college. It was like, oh, I'm a year closer to having to make this like really important life decision that I'm like, don't feel prepared to make in any way, or don't feel good about making. And I didn't really, I guess, maybe understand or have the ability to process that at the time. It was just like, time keeps going whether you want it to or not, and so you're just kind of like sitting, like the light at the end of the tunnel gets closer, but it was almost the opposite effect. Like it felt like I was in this great place, like I'm in school, I love my friends, I love the social aspect, I enjoy being around people my age that are like-minded and having the activities I love to do. It was almost the opposite. It was almost like the darkness at the end of the tunnel was like this idea of like being a real adult, and like college ends, and then you're like, you basically just go into the workforce, and then you're miserable for 30 years, and then you retire. And it was like, it was so scary, that like idea of that, because I hadn't found like something I was passionate about at that time. And so it was a scary proposition to go like, when this ends, what now? You know what I mean? So that was kind of my experience there. And that was the way that I was living my life at that time. And then when I found, when I picked the guitar up, towards the end of my college career, it was like immediately all made sense. It like flipped, like the whole script just flipped. It was like, then it was like, oh, like I'm almost out. Like now I can go do the thing I want to go do. And it all made sense. But if I hadn't found that passion, I don't know what I would be doing right now, to be quite honest.
And is that what it felt like? It felt like discovering a passion? Like it felt like
Oh, definitely. It almost felt like discovering what I was meant to do. It was almost like beyond a passion.